for you.
Definitely.
Has most people you talk about getting to, your senior year and it's gone by in a flash. Has it seemed like that for you now that you're here, or does it seem like it's been a journey?
Definitely, I would say both ways. Because there's definitely times where it feels like I was just a freshman, but then when you actually sit down and think about everything you went through, all the years you put in, it has been a journey, but a good journey, definitely worth it.
Listen, it's had plenty of adversity for you. Just moving around, on the field alone, just moving around positions. How comfortable are you with where your role is fitted to be right now on the team, this team?
I'm very comfortable. Kind of get to play physical at D-line and tight end. I've been doing it for a couple of years now, so I know it like the back of my hand. I'm not worried about that. So yeah, very, very comfortable in my role, and I can't wait to play it.
Talking to pretty much everyone, you really are one of the leaders of this team, and you're held in regard that way. How much was last year's class kind of developmental for you and kind of teaching you maybe how to be that guy? Or is that something that's just ingrained in you?
For all my life, every team I've been on, I've been some sort of a leader, if I was voted captain or not. So I guess it has been ingrained. But definitely going through last year's team made me realize how many different types of people we have on this specific team. And so going into this year, I'm able to already have that advancement, have that step ahead, and be able to already work with different people and kind of know what to expect in order to get back to where we were last year.
Not to get into last year too much, but just the last two games of the season, how much did those prove as motivation? From pretty much everyone I've talked to, they've said that they felt like, well, we learned how to get there, and now we know how to get it done. How much of this season is wanting to prove that that's the case?
Definitely, all year. Just like last year, everybody wants to prove that we were good. We're not no sorry team or anything like that. So, definitely this year, everybody on the team is looking forward to getting back and making sure we leave our stamp and just knowing that we deserve to be there.
Was it motivation in the offseason, though, when you were, with those long, grinding training days? Were you thinking about those games?
Definitely motivation. Pretty sure everybody that played on the team last year, all the guys I talked to, we all sit and talk about how, we can't end the season like this again. We have to make sure we enter on the right foot and things like that.
So let's talk about what this team brings to the table. Obviously, the offense is supposed to be, you've got all the weapons in the world, right? And defensively, it seems that there's this attitude and maybe this air that we want to prove that we can be better than last year and don't count us out, don't write us off. Do you feel that, and is that something that you guys try and preach every day?
I wouldn't say we preach it, but it is something that's very, very felt throughout the locker room. As an offense, we know that's the veteran offense. We lost 3 out of all of our players pretty much. And all the guys that we lost pretty much had guys that was getting reps and everything last year. So we shouldn't lose a step. So everybody knows our offense will be very, very electric. When it comes to the defense, we lost some guys, and everybody keeps talking about how we lost too many people to be good and everything like that. So I guess it's more of that. We just have a chip on our shoulder to prove that we are good and we will not lose a step either on the defensive side.
So let's talk about the personnel then of this defense that is, I've heard many good things about in camp. Let's talk about defensive line first. Let's talk about the roles that need to be filled. Who do you see kind of, along with yourself, kind of stepping up with Javier now in there? What have you seen from him? And just kind of give me an overview of the defensive line.
From top to bottom, Leo Jackson, me, Javier, Chris Malumba, Jace Frankie, Frank Umu, all of us. Everybody's been very, very doing a lot of good things and improved a lot, especially coming from the spring to where we are now. From top to bottom, everybody's very, very physical. Nobody's scared. Everybody's doing the right things. Everybody got their head in the right place. So Javier, having him in the middle is a big anchor. I'm not worried about him being moved around. And Jace Frankie, he can do it all. Play middle, play outside. Lyle's right there. We'll play the middle. So I'm not worried.
When you line up for Oklahoma drill, who's the last guy you want to see on the other side, or is it you?
I'm about to say it's me. In my mind, I can't wait to see anybody. I just love playing.
How special is the CSU game, or is it just another game on the schedule for you? I imagine after 5 years of going to school, it's come to mean something to you.
Yeah, definitely. At first, it was another game. And honestly, the way we're going to play it is going to play it like it's another game. But deep down inside, you always know it's a big rivalry, and you can't look past that. I won't say they're our little brother. I won't say nothing like that because they're a real good team. They're very, very talented. They have a lot of good players over there. So, it'll be a good game and we can have a lot of fun.
Back to the defense just momentarily. Pass rushing is obviously another question mark. I think naturally you lost Jimmy and Cheeto from the outside. And what do you see in that regard, and who do you see being able to get it done? Leo's back, like you said, you guys up front, but maybe the linebacking core as well.
I mean, Derek McCartney's very, very good. Can't look past him. Losing him last year hurt a lot. Freshman Jacob Callier, he is electrifying on that pass rush. It's crazy to see somebody that young doing those different moves and being so good at it. And as a D-line, just us in general, we've came a long way. I mean, the pass rush that we do now against our O-line is way more competitive. It's always back and forth who's doing what that day. So, I mean, we have a lot of different players that are able to hold their own.
We talked about Derek's return a little bit. I feel like you have a good perspective to give me an opinion on that. What has his return meant to this team, and kind of what did it mean to lose him last year?
I mean, losing him hurt a lot. I'm happy we had Jimmy right behind him. Jimmy ready to step up. So, I mean, with Derek, he's a very, very smart player. He's physical. He's big. I mean, losing him hurt. And now that we have him back, there's a lot of confidence behind him. Like, you know when he's on your side, you know he's going to do his job. You know he's going to be where he's supposed to be and everything like that. And you can't coach something like that. He's just a real good guy. Love to have him on my team.
Well, one other guy I want to bring up is Terran Hasselbeck. What have you seen from him? It seemed last year and over his career, it seemed to me that he's shown some flashes. And are you starting to see that consistency build that you would need to in your later seasons?
Yeah, definitely. Terran has gotten a lot better. He's getting a lot more consistent. And his pass rush is another one of the guys on the team that's very, very good. I mean, he's cold off the edge. He's doing his job, and he's where he's supposed to be at. So I can't wait to see what he does this year as well.
Last thing, Coach Mack. What's your relationship with Coach Mack? I imagine it's a little different than a lot of people. So, what are your thoughts on Coach Mack, and how much do you enjoy playing for him?
I love playing for Coach Mack. He's a real good guy. He's cool. He's down to earth. At first, it was kind of difficult to talk to him sometimes. But I mean, now we'll walk around, crack jokes, laugh, kind of just talk about anything. So I love Coach Mack.
How much of your role? You said you're a leader. How much of your role in the next few days is helping guys get assimilated into, moving in, kind of getting ready for classes to begin?
I mean, definitely, I just got to make sure everybody's going to class, making sure they're doing the right things, staying on people, making sure their head's in the right place. That's mainly what I have to do.